The next obvious point then is that if there are three stages for a business, and within each stage, it has to have its own roadmap. At the early stage, especially, which is where most of the startups which we are talking to would be, how would they be able to track and measure whether they are going as per the roadmap and whatever corrections need to be done, are they happening well within the planned time, etc.? What was your experience like that? And maybe you could your experience with, say, HomeLane could help us understand how to do that.
Like I said, at the early stage of a startup, the main thing that you need to establish is a product market fit. So for us at HomeLane, what we needed to establish was the following. If we offered a branded alternative to the unorganized industry at a slightly premium price point, which is being paid to the unorganized industry today, will customers take that proposition and will they buy from us in decent numbers? That needed to be established, and this needed to be established in more than one city, because it can happen in a Bangalore but may not happen in a Chennai, which is a little more conservative in terms of customers and stuff like that. So that really was our necessity at that point in time. So what we did was we launched Experience Center in Bangalore, and we acquired customers online. At least we did lead gen online, and then we got the customers to come to our showrooms and start to buy from us. So broadly, what we did in the first 6 to 9 months after we started was established very clearly that customers were willing to pay a premium for a branded alternative. That we kind of established. At that point in time, the only things that I was worried about was sales, because that was the main metric that I was tracking. When I'm saying myself, obviously everybody else was tracking other metrics, but for me as the founder, that was the main thing. Am I able to grow this business fast enough? Are more and more customers buying this proposition of HomeLane? So that really was what we were tracking initially. Being an offline business, technology-driven offline business, it took us a few quarters to do that. But yeah, so that really was the fit that we tried to get. Now, once that was done, in the next stage, which was in the venture stage, as I call it, I needed to establish unit economics and also establish this in few other cities. Now prove it in multiple cities rather than just one city, saying that the same problem exists in other cities and customers are willing to buy. In our business, what we found surprisingly, that different cities in terms of purchase behavior, buying behavior as far as home interiors was concerned was different. So that was one thing which came out. Let me give you one small illustrative example. Mumbai compared to a Bangalore, Mumbai being a lot more humid in terms of weather, had a specific liking for certain types of raw materials which were more conducive to humid weather, compared to a Bangalore which is a little more dry and not as humid and things like that. It may be actually a very small one, but it's a very important nuance which you need to get early on. Because if you're going to go and use the same product and try and sell in Mumbai, you will fail miserably, because nobody is going to buy it, because the core material itself is different. So I'm just giving you one example, but you need to figure out what are the changes that you need to, what are the similarities and what are the differences between the different markets that you're addressing. But once we got to know this, now to go to a Chennai or to a Hyderabad or to a Delhi, now I know that it needs to be one of these or a small variant of some of these nuances. So that really was the second stage. But one interesting problem that we ran into during the venture stage was, while we established that the customer need is very much there and the customer pain point is very true, how do you make margins grow in this business. So technically speaking, when I'm doing 1 home a day and when I'm doing 3 homes a day, I need to start making more per project when I'm doing 3 homes a day. But on one side, we were doing customized furniture, completely customized for every home. So it is not a product sale, it's a customized service sale. So when you do that, then you only start making the product after the sale is done. So technically speaking, you are making everything very unique for every customer. So how do you still make more margins at 3 homes a day compared to at 1 home a day? That was an interesting problem that we ran into, which we finally found a solution. But that was a very, very interesting problem.